If your face card is absolutely chopped, then you're in luck right now, because I was just like you, but in the space of just over 1 year, I was able to completely change the way my facial aesthetics were and go from looking like this on the left to this on the right in just over a year. I'm gonna show you the 3 steps that I used specifically, which are pretty easy to follow if you're just patient, that will help you do the same transformation as well. So the first thing we have to understand is why you're chopped right now. Now, there are so many reasons as to why your face probably looks like shit right now and why mine did as well. There are 4 main reasons I want to talk about in this video. The first one is a high inflammation diet. The second one is hormone dysfunction. The third one is bad framing, and the fourth one is terrible skin complexion. So I'm going to break each one of these down and go into depth about how you can fix it and exactly what I did myself. Simple, actionable steps that will get you from looking chopped to a bit better. Step 1 is to reduce inflammation. So you have to understand that your diet matters, and most diets are absolutely fucked. See, if you're into the gym, if you're into fitness, you've been told that, you know, that you have to eat a lot of protein, and that the modern diet includes, you know, the modern health diet includes things like eating your protein bars and getting your protein shakes in and eating all these health foods that you find in the supermarket. But what really happens when you do this, and what really happened for me, was it absolutely fucking destroys your looks. It makes you look fucking puffy, it makes you look inflamed, and it makes you look really like unhealthy and sick. Now, what inflammation is it's like that weird puffiness look you get. It's the puffiness, it's the kind of rashy look. It just makes you look unhealthy, and it makes you look like shit. And the main causes of this that I want to talk about that will relate to you, that you can fix, that I fixed, is number 1, stress, and number 2, toxins. So we know that stress is obviously caused by lifestyle factors and our lifestyle design, right? If we're doing something we hate, if we're in an environment where we're under a lot of pressure, if we're sad, these are things that are going to increase cortisol in our blood, which in turn increases the overall stress we have, and then we start to get bloated and our body doesn't work as well, right? And then that's how we get that inflamed, puffy look. But the way that I was increasing the stress in my body without even knowing it, and you're probably doing the same, is by the diet. Because stress isn't just a lifestyle thing, it's also about how our body is reacting to the inputs, right? You have the inputs of, you know, a stressful lifestyle, a pressuring lifestyle, a job you hate, all these things, but you also have the input of food. And when you're eating this modern healthy diet of things like protein shakes and protein products and protein bars and all these, you know, 50,000 ingredient foods that you see that are marketed as healthy or low calorie, or like, heck, even in the supermarket in Australia, they market like foods that have like 50 ingredients as a 5 health star rating, right? When you eat these, what's actually happening, you're literally nuking your fucking body and just consuming chemicals and a bunch of bullshit toxins, which is another reason our inflammation goes up. And what that does is it's causing an extra amount of stress on your body, on your organs, on your hormones, everything, to try and process this fucking glucose brain fog syrup, fucking chemical coloring, natural flavoring bullshit that doesn't even exist in the real world. It was made up in a lab. So if you're consuming this every single day, like most guys and like myself were as well, then do you expect your body to function normally? This is like putting fucking bullshit fuel in a car, right? You have to think about it like that. You're trying to fuel your system, but if you're putting the wrong fuel in your system, well, the system's not going to react well, right? You're going to get shit breaking down. That's the exact same thing with inflammation and our diet. Even I work in a gym right now, right? And we literally advertise shakes. We have a shake bar, and people come in and they buy protein shakes thinking that they're healthy because they've been sold this lie. But realistically, it's full of a bunch of emulsifiers, fake artificial flavors, sweeteners, all this shit. And what I've noticed is the people that consume these on a regular, they have this weird kind of like skinny fat physique where they don't actually look that jacked or anything impressive, but they had this like bloated face, right? And it was when I eliminated a lot, 90% of the stress and toxins from my diet, which is when I saw the most results, right? So you have to understand that we need to reduce the stress and toxins in our diet. Now, how do we do this? Well, it's by eating what is actually a healthy diet. And a diet that is actually healthy is simply whole foods. You don't be a retard with this. You need to stop eating the bullshit protein products, the fake lab synthesized stuff, even things like fucking protein meals and like pre-packed meals. It doesn't even have to be a protein product. Most of the shit you look at in the supermarket is literally fucking cancer in a container. So what you need to do instead, and what I did instead, was focus on eating majority of just single ingredient foods, right? That means that if you pick something up at the shop, it is literally 0 ingredients. And I'm even making the step now to reduce my intake of things like yogurt and stuff, because they often put bullshit additives and thickeners in them. So now what I basically eat is just like meat. Okay, you look at a meat packet and there's literally fucking meat in there. Like, what? There's nothing else. Eggs, same thing, right? You don't want to be going and eating like a fucking chicken schnitzel, a crumb chicken, where it's got chicken and it's like fucking 60% chicken. And the rest is like fucking water, chemicals, and bullshit fucking shit you don't even need in your diet, which is causing you that inflammation and was making my face super bloated and puffy, right? So it's simply just including a whole foods diet, eating things like fruits and some vegetables, and meats and eggs mainly. And I also include things like nuts and berries, stuff like that. That is going to reduce the inflammation in your body because the foods are natural and they're not putting extra stress on your body to try and digest them and try and process them. Because even though you're eating these foods and you think that they're low calorie and you think that they're healthy for you, your body is doing so much work in the background to try and pump out the fucking synthetic chemicals and fucking cancer, fucking goop that you're consuming. So, and when your body's trying to do this, it's going to result in swelling, and your body's going to get like super like fucking oily as well. All these things that you do not want, which are going to make you look less attractive, right? So that is step 1. Step 2, which kind of ties onto the back of this, is to fix your hormones, because hormones control how you look, right? A lot of people are just thinking that, you know, it's all about bones and it's all about how you're born, but you can actually change the way you look just by changing your hormones. And there are 2 main, you know, aspects of this that I want to focus on, that I have focused on. And the first one is thyroid health, right? So you need to understand that the thyroid is what helps your body to regulate its metabolism and produce hormones, okay? So when you're eating that shitty diet that I explained earlier, or when you're not taking care of your diet and eating whole foods only, you're nuking your thyroid. You're fucking clogging it with all this fucking bullshit, right? And especially if you're eating these foods, a lot of the times they're not nutrient dense at all. So you're missing out on 2 things. So you're missing out on a bunch of different nutrients that you need. And the specific nutrients that are optimal for, you know, good thyroid function is selenium and iodine. It's selenium and iodine. Now, a lot of the time if you're eating table salt, nowadays, they put iodine in it, right? So that's kind of covered. But selenium, a lot of people are lacking. The easiest way, I would say, to increase the selenium intake in your diet is to simply egg max and start eating fucking upwards of like 6 to 10 eggs per day. That's what I did. I didn't even realize this was a strategy up until now, but egg maxing, eating eggs, you know, subconsciously I was just consuming more eggs because I knew that they were good and they contained every nutrient required for a human life or animal life. They also contain selenium, which is going to boost your thyroid health and help you to maintain a positive relationship between your thyroid and how your body's metabolizing food and how you're actually synthesizing and regulating your hormones. And the hormone we're trying to look after mostly is testosterone, right? Now, when you have testosterone, you just naturally get a more masculine, predatory look about you. I can't really explain it, but if you see all these guys that have been in jail, that have like high testosterone levels, they're super masculine, super manly, they have this almost like intimidating look about them, right? And the way we can get more attractive is by adopting this look, this intimidating, masculine, predatory look. If you look at the picture I showed at the start of the video of me, that was when I had lower levels of testosterone and I kind of just looked very like preyish. I didn't look aggressive. I didn't have that intimidating aspect about me. But now when I boosted my testosterone, I got it to about 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. That's when I was able to truly kind of develop my facial structure, because testosterone is not just, you know, a hormone. in our blood. It's actually what helps us develop our bone structure and grow thicker mass and just look more masculine and dominant. If you boost your testosterone, over time you can literally change your kind of skull structure and your facial fucking structure. I went from having a round face, you can see in that first picture, my face looked like a balloon, to now actually having a bit of angularity about it because I boosted my testosterone. And the way I was able to do this, two main tips I would give you, is to start going outside more and getting a lot of vitamin D. And that picture that you see at the start of the video, the post transformation, that's when I was getting, you know, just like 30 minutes to an hour of sunlight every single day. I was going to the river heaps, and interestingly enough, that's when I improved my looks the most. And the second part of this is to consume a high-fat diet. So many people are scared of a high-fat diet because they think they're going to die of their freaking arteries clogging. But you need to understand that warriors eat high-fat diets, and the guys that have the most strength, the most powerful guys, they eat high-fat diets. If you just look at all the high testosterone fucking individuals, fucking Tate, all these entrepreneurs, everything, they all eat fucking steaks and eggs. They have a high-fat diet. The reason why this is so overpowered is because it improves your testosterone due to the cholesterol in the high-fat foods, and just because you're able to get more calories in and you're able to give your body the fuel it needs to produce hormones optimally. And we know that when you're producing enough testosterone, you're going to develop more masculine facial aesthetic features, just like I did. That's how I transformed my looks significantly. Now, step 3, which could possibly be the most important thing here, is to fix your framing and to fix your skin complexion. Now, I'm going to show you right now what the common community calls soft maxes, which are basically non-surgical methods of procedures that will actually help you improve your facial aesthetics and actually work for normal guys like you. So the first one is to simply get a proper haircut and get grooming, right? This kind of seems obvious, but so many people do it wrong, right? You have to understand that, firstly, you're not a looks maxer. You can't get away with any haircut. You see these memes on the internet. I see these memes where it's like, it was never about the haircut, bro. And they show one guy with like one ugly dude with like a shitty haircut, and then one attractive guy with like a jawline with a shitty haircut, and the more attractive guy just looks better, even though they have the same haircut, right? The thing is, you don't have these super aesthetic facial features. You're not a fucking looks maxer with the chiseled jawline, with the hollow cheeks, with the naturally good genetics, right? You're just a normal guy like me. So what do we have to do? We have to experiment, and we have to iterate with different hairstyles that can accentuate our facial features. So if you look at that first picture of me when I was absolutely fucking chopped, that was in January 2024. It's only a year apart when I looked like that second picture and what I look like now. So what I did mainly in that picture, you can see one thing that was significant that I changed was my hairstyle. I was rocking the buzz cut, which for my head shape does not fucking work at all. No way. I need to go for a longer hairstyle, and it's through experimentation that I learned this, right? I need to have a shorter fade, like a longer fade on the sides if I go for a fade. I don't want to get a higher fade, because what happens is it makes my head look really fucking weird, and it fucks up everything about the shape. So you might be different. So the way I'd recommend you find this out yourself is, firstly, experiment. Fucking go get a buzz, go get a haircut. It's going to grow back. It doesn't really matter. Ask your barber what he thinks would look the best. That's what I did for me. He said like a low taper fade, and I said, yeah, that's true. I agree. I got it, and it looked quite good. And what you can do as well is, to help with this, you can actually look for, guys that kind of look like you, your kind of archetype, that have the same kind of facial features, facial aesthetics. Like for me, it's a bit more of like a rounder face, and see what works for them. And also a super clutch way, an extra way you can do this is by including things like accessories, like hats, for example, right? So the difference that a hat can make is crazy, because I can put this on now and it kind of changes the way my face looks, because it changes the way my face shape is, it changes the way my hair sits on my face, and it overall changes my aesthetic. And the second thing is to fix your skin quality. You don't want your skin to look like the fucking moon, to look like a fucking crater, right? You have to have contrast, and you have to have some color to your skin. See, our problem for guys like you and I, we are on the improvement grind, we're on the self-improvement grind, right? chances are you have probably lived inside all of your life just like I did. Playing video games, not being sporty, not going outside, not socializing, just being a fucking lazy fuck, right? I used to sit inside, play games 12 hours a day, every single day for like 15 years straight. So there's no surprise that my face was super pale, super fucking pasty, and looked really fucked, right? It's probably a bit white right now because I'm using this fucking overhead light, but I look way more tan, right? And that's because of that poor environment exposure. We weren't getting outside. I wasn't doing anything. But interestingly enough, the way I improved my looks the most, the biggest contrast I see is when I added some color to my skin through getting a bit tan and through having sunlight exposure and actually getting outside. I was going outside, you know, every single day, nearly going to the river, swimming, getting lots of sunlight, walking around with my mates for, you know, 30 minutes to even 3 hours at a time. And that's when my face improved the most, because I genuinely got more tanned and just improved the skin complexion. So the action step for you is to start going outside more. Simply start getting some sunlight. Stop sitting in your room like a fucking cave dweller, watching porn all day. Go outside and get some sunlight. It's not actually that hard to do, and you'll find, weirdly enough, that it improves your facial aesthetics, because by getting sunlight, you're going to help to improve your testosterone. By getting sunlight, you're going to help decrease the stress in your body, decrease the cortisol, and instead get things like serotonin, dopamine, endorphins go running through your veins, which is more positive for you. And we know that a healthy life equals a healthy face or healthy skin. So if you just do that, get 20 minutes of sunlight a day. You can also take vitamin D supplements. I don't really need to because Australia has quite a lot of sun. But if you're in somewhere like the UK, this might be good for you. The final thing that I understand and I have, you know, put into place is fuck a skincare routine. You don't need a skincare routine if your diet is locked in, if you're getting sunlight, if you're exercising, if you're doing positive habits. So many people are, you know, putting like 7 different fucking layers on a fucking skincare, moisturizer, retinol, all this shit. It doesn't fucking work half the time, because you have to think about it. The companies want you to come back to keep buying it. So you really think they're going to cure all your fucking skincare with one product that you bought for $10? If that was the case, they'd fucking go out of business. Like, there's even a fucking thing I saw about how the shit they put in lip balm, you know, the lip balm when you like fucking put it on your lips to make them moist, the shit they put in that actually dries your lips out more over time, so you have to buy more and you have to keep applying it and keep using it. It's an endless cycle. But have you ever thought that if you just fixed your diet, got sunlight, and fixed your fucking hormones, then you wouldn't have this problem? The fucking people in the old days didn't need fucking lip balm, and they didn't need fucking skincare routines. They just fucking flicked their face with water. That's why healthy people, they don't need to fucking do 25 different skincare routines. They literally just fucking splash their face. You know, like fucking guys wipe their fucking face with towel that they fucking wipe their ass and balls with, bro, and they still have clear skin. Why do you think that is? It's because they are naturally healthier in general. There you have it. If you just follow these 3 steps, simple steps that can be incorporated into your daily life, you will literally improve your facial aesthetics just like I did in the space of probably a year, or even less if you're actually really conscious about this. I didn't really care that much about it, and I still got crazy good results. And after analysis, this is exactly what I did. Now, you have to remember that if you're not going to go get fucking surgery and you're not going to cheat the system, it's going to take some time. So do these habits, these 3 steps for 6 months to a year, and you'll notice you will fucking change just like I did. And you look back in the mirror and be like, holy fuck, how did I actually change that much, right? And if you want the specific procedure on how to actually change your life for good as a young guy trying to improve himself, how to completely change your life forever, then check the link in the description for the school community I've made with all my lessons included. There are more and more lessons being added every single week. So go check that out if you're interested. With that being said, do these 3 things, the 3 actionable steps: fix your diet, fix your hormones, and actually improve your lifestyle, and you will improve your facial aesthetics. It is literally that easy. You don't need some magical procedure. You just need to live healthy. That being said, that's all from me. Progress is purpose. Peace out.